Abraham, there's so many people pushing against something they don't want.
It's all right, because you should see what their vortices are.
Okay.
You see what the collective vortex is. You should see what source energy is focused upon. You should see what the energy that creates worlds is focusing on. You should feel the calling to all of that.
Okay.
In other words, these are the best of times.
Okay. What can I do to have the most impact on helping, or maybe do I need to not even worry about other people
You answered
pushing
your own question, because when you say impact, it makes it sound like you need to do something against something. But when you realize that not one of you said, make it one way so we can all agree. You said, diversity is how we define, and you definitely didn't say, it's how we define the right way that we all then will follow. You said, it's the way I choose for me and line up for me, and then source assists me in living that way. This is a big old place, have you noticed? This is a great, big place. Fly over it a few times and look around. It's huge. The opportunities for satisfaction of all people exist here. And you know why we can say that with such clarity and definiteness? If this time, space, reality has the wherewithal to inspire a desire within you, it has the wherewithal to fulfill that desire completely. And here's why. You like the stick analogy? It's weird, we know. But when you lift the stick that says, I don't like that, the other end of the stick of what you prefer is lighted up too. So that's really that rocket that we're talking about that you're sending off. And it's that end of the stick that Source focuses on. It's that good feeling end of the stick. Most people don't want to hear it, but everyone on the planet has a good feeling end of the stick. Everyone. Everyone that you disagree with has a good feeling end of the stick. So when an idea flows to you, when you say, oh, I got an idea, we want to say, where do you think that idea came from? And we want to explain to you where that idea came from. It's like the fetus in the womb becomes more and more and more. First, it's just like a little smear. You wouldn't like to look at it and you wouldn't recognize it. You couldn't see the toes or the gizzard or anything. But as it evolves, then you recognize more and more as it becomes. Well, everything is like that. It starts out as a vibrational smear, so to speak, and it becomes more and more and more. And as your inner being is focused upon your idea, your aha idea, or the pieces of, I prefer that and that and that and that and that, as your inner being focuses there with no resistance, the law of attraction gathers this enormous, dynamic gathering of components. We call them cooperative components. All components are cooperative. Law of attraction sees to that. The cooperative components of wanted and the cooperative components of unwanted are all gathered by the law of attraction, and they are always compatible. So as this becomes more and more and more, it reaches the place where when and if, not if because you're never not there from time to time, but when you are in vibrational sync with that's when that idea comes. And that idea is evidence that if the idea can come out of the smear, out of the fuzz, out of the mist, then the idea can become more and more and more and more and more. So those ideas are coming from your alignment and they're coming from your misalignment. So the only thing you need to ask yourself, and we wouldn't spend much time at all asking it about anybody else, what end of the stick did that idea come from? Did it come from love or fear? Did it come from love or hate? What end of the stick? Because the ideas are coming to everyone, and they become more and more and more and more until eventually you begin to see action. But we want you to know that, everyone who is physical and human will reemerge into non-physical, where they will leave everything that is not in alignment with their inner being and their source behind. You all reemerge into love, and you all come from love. And sometimes you lose your place. Sometimes you find fear instead of love. Sometimes you find worry instead of stability. Sometimes you find confusion instead of clarity. It's all part of the process of defining who you are and what you want. But never one time ever, and this is the most important thing, for you as an individual who wants to be in alignment with your inner being to know. Never will your inner being push against anyone. Ever. Ever. No matter how bad you think they are. That's when Esther says you clearly need more information. Abraham, you clearly need more information.
So I know that going back to we cannot assert against other people. Is there a best?
You can focus and attract and demonstrate through your attraction, teach through the clarity of your example.
That was my question.
Teach through the clarity of your feeling. Advocate. Okay. Don't protest. Talk about what you do want, not what you don't want. Don't look for justification for what you're asking for. This is big. And words don't teach, but we're going to say them anyway. You don't have to advocate for what you do want. You get to choose what you do want. You get to choose what you do want. Everybody does. But it's important to ask yourself. Esther laid in bed the other night because she's really getting hold of some new thoughts that are helpful for her. Thoughts like, is this my opinion or is this my intention? That was really a big one for her. And thoughts like, where did that idea come from? And now she's saying, when she has a strong thought, which end of the stick did it come from? So she laid in bed the other night because she gets her days and nights mixed up. Sometimes her flights are so early and she gets picked up so early, and so she's waking up at 2 and so forth, and so she's going to bed early. She says, I'm like a newborn baby. My days and nights are all mixed up. So sometimes she's had enough sleep and it's still the middle of the night, so she lies there and she's been playing a game. As her mind wanders, she's just been asking the question, what end of the stick did that come from? Because sometimes it's a worrisome thought. She has an apartment in a high-rise building in San Diego, and they had a fire drill the other day, and she walked down 23 flights of stairs and didn't like it. Really didn't like it. And for the next week, still didn't like it because her legs felt stiff and sore. That thought kept coming to mind. And she thought, what end of the stick is that coming from? Well, I know what end of the stick that's coming from. She thought, I know. And when a thought first comes and it's from that end of the stick, if you want to, you can choose another thought from the other end of the stick. You can even think something about that very thought if it doesn't have very much momentum, like, I didn't know I could go down 23 flights of stairs and live to tell about it. No harm done. There's nothing wrong with going down 23 flights of stairs, and there's nothing wrong with them having a fire drill either. Nobody did anything wrong. And I really didn't have to go down the stairs. I choose to go down the stairs. She thought, well, that wasn't too smart, was it, to do what they said to do? And when she got down to the bottom, now we're showing you the expansion of thought. We're stopping a minute. When she got to that thought, I really didn't have to go down, because when they got down to the lobby level, the girl who opens the door down there said, why didn't you just take the elevator? And Esther said, because the recording that was so loud, said, do not take the elevator, take the stairs, do not take the elevator. And Esther looked at her and thought, did you not hear the announcement? So which end of the stick is that coming from? It's really easy to tell what end of the stick you're on. It's really easy to tell. Every negative emotion that you have is because you're not on the end of the stick where your inner being is. You see, and so once you sort that out, then you find out that your happiness and your success and your becoming and your progress and your evolution and your satisfaction and your intentions are only about you caring about how you feel enough to tuning yourself, to be one who tunes yourself to that end of the stick. And when you get there in a strong way and leave it there, then you've got it. Everyone on the planet has a good feeling end of the stick. All components are cooperative. Law of attraction sees to that. You all reemerge into love, and you all come from love. Advocate. Okay. Don't protest. Talk about what you do want, not what you don't want. You get to choose what you do want. Everybody does.